more active this morning. There are options, so please listen for them. A lot of it's around down dog this morning. If down dog's not really available for you, if you find particularly shoulders have an issue with it, maybe try some of it in down dog and then move down to all fours. All of it can be done in all fours as well. Okay, so come to the mat, come to our lovely mat, our lovely space here. We're going to take Nadi Shodanam just to get us ready for practice. So Nadi Shodanams are in right, out left, in left, out right. So there's a little bit of thinking involved. So just first of all, find your posture, find your sit bones, have a little rock, find yourself elongating and expanding up towards your crown. Use the posture points. Remember your tummy, your heart, your shoulders coming together and down away from your ears. Tuck that chin slightly down and back, giving yourself a bit of a double chin, and then raise up through your crown. Now we've made enough room to breathe. Just notice your breath. Notice where it's going to and how fast it's moving, the strength of it, the smoothness of it, just without controlling it. So just remember, although we're going to do breath practices, this breath is enough. It's keeping you alive. The breath practices we do expand that idea, but you have enough in your breath every day, every breath to keep you going. So that's our practice this morning, is I have enough. So close your eyes if you haven't already, and now take control of the breath. Switch on and connect to that breath and begin to expand and extend it, slowing it down, smoothing it out if it wasn't already, making the even breath. So finding your inhale and finding your exhale just matches each other, mirroring each other, with a tiny little pause at the end of each before they move into the other one. And then we're going to move into using our Vishnu mudra. So 2 fingers to your third eye, or bend in so that they're on the mound of your thumb. And you're going to use your thumb for your right nostril and your ring finger for your left nostril. I'm going to close the left nostril off gently and begin with an inhale through the right. So find that smooth, even breath again. And exhale through the left. So close your right nostril off and exhale through the left. A little bit of a change up this morning. Inhale then through the left. And then gently, don't go this fast, but gently close it off and exhale through the right. And back to the same thing. So inhale through the right. Close that off gently. Exhale through the left. We're doing Nadi Shodanam. And inhale through the left, exhale through the right. So if you lose the right-left thing, just breathe. As long as you're breathing, you're still here. You've got enough to do the practice. Just breathe. But otherwise, try and connect, trying to work through the motor sensors, the brain connection, the energy that you're bringing in by moving from your left side to your right side and back, using that balance, switching on maybe the side that's not quite awake yet, in your brain, in your body, in your Nadi channels. So just continue with that breath for a few more breaths on your own without me cueing right, left, or your hands. So here we're thinking this morning about Santosha. It is the second Niyama, which is from a very old written description of what yoga should be according to Patanjali. So it's over 2,000 years old, but still relevant. Santosha is contentment. So one of the things we need in life to make us walk through life comfortably is to find contentment, not so easily done. Let go of the mudra now, pop your hands down to your knees, and then see if you can start to psychically take the same breath. So in through your right nostril without holding it, the other one closed, and then out through your left nostril. In through the left, and out through the right. Continue to try and do that psychically without having to close off the channels. It's just a little bit more connection involved there. Again, if you can't quite get the hang of it, just breathe. Just enjoy that long breath, bringing you to the mat. So, contentment, cultivating inner peace and happiness, which isn't dependent on what's happening in your life. Again, as I say, easier said than done. Having a goal is fine, but that's until everything else depends on that goal happening. And as we know, we don't always reach our goals in life. So the thing is to draw back in and realize you have got enough. It's harder though sometimes to find peace and acceptance of who we are and what we are and where we are than constantly use self-criticism and relentlessly try to improve ourselves. So this morning I want to approach the practice by looking at what we have got and what we are doing, and that it is enough for what we need today. So let go of the breath now. Maybe keep your eyes closed just for a second. Feel that sense of contentment that it has brought to you just through the act of breathing. Nothing else, just breathing. Okay, so open your eyes and we're going to move now. Now we're going to move into broken toe, which isn't for everybody. So broken toe is to come up on the balls of your feet, and there's a lot of balance involved here. So we're sitting like this, making sure that all our little toes are in the right position. A little bit harder, but much more difficult on the knees here is to come down onto your knees and sit back onto your heels. Bigger stretch through the feet. So that's two options. If that's still a little bit not quite right for you this morning, use your brick and pop your heels on your brick and come into the balance position. So it's quite strong in the knees, this one. As I say, kneeling will bring a bigger stretch through your quads and therefore into the top of your knees. So if your knees are a bit dodgy or not warmed up, bring yourself into this position, but use something to support you. You can lean against the wall if you need to, or you can use something to hold on to. It will be a big opening sensation in the sole of your foot though, and if anybody's got that plantar fasciitis that I spoke about, then bring yourself into another position that feels more comfortable, maybe into Malasana. You might can bring your feet to the floor, or you might just want to kneel with your feet untucked. So whichever position you find yourself in. And if it's not right, move around until you find the one that does suit you this morning. If you're raised up, then it is a big balance thing on a tiny part of your body. So it's just your toes unusually that we're using here. Not everybody's got that flexibility in toes. So we want to think about still that posture that we started with, lifting up through the crown. Hands can be in the knees if it helps with the stability a little bit, or they can be in heart center. Find a drishti if you're balancing. So find a focal point that's not moving, not me on the screen, because I'll be wobbling. So look at something that's not moving and focus on that for your balance. If it gets too strong, come down to one of the other versions. So just to start, what feels tight? What feels maybe sore or tired? Can you actually move your attention from your feet to somewhere else that might be feeling Good. Where feels comfortable, at ease. So it's a bit of a yin pose this. We've gone into it cold, so you'll be feeling it quite quickly, and the yin experience builds. So we're not going to stay here for too long. We're going to come down now with our hands onto the floor. And we're going to stretch up into a forward fold, but keeping the knees really bent. So roll the feet slowly back down so that the heels are on the floor. You're really bent here, so your knees, as in your knees are really bent here. We're not stretching out the back of the leg straight away. What we're just going to do is use a few half folds and forward folds just to warm up the back of our legs. So before we do that, let's just push through the feet and sweep back up to the top, looking along the floor. Take it slowly. You've been down, head down. So come back up to the top. Hands come down through heart center as we exhale. Inhale the hands up above the head. Soften the knees, roll forward, take the hands back behind us, swan dive, but not too big a dive, more of a plop this morning. Down into forward fold again. Take one more of those, push through, warm up the back of the legs slowly, slowly, slowly. Reaching up, finding that space between ribs and pelvis as you reach up. Bringing the hands down through, heart center. Reach up again, one more time. Swan dive one more time. Maybe the knees don't soften quite so much this time as we roll through into forward fold, but still bent. And then we're going to take the hands to the shins or the thighs or wherever you normally put them for half fold. And we're going to reach out and roll out slowly through the back of the legs. Take it slowly, reaching out through the crown, rolling back down, softening the knees, back down into forward fold. Take a couple of those now, reaching out. Slowly with the sit bones going backwards, the crown going forwards. Big movement through the back of the hamstrings. They're not quite warm yet, so take your time. This is what we're doing, is warming them up. And then we're going to walk the hands a little bit ahead of us so that the shoulders move forward. We're going to step the feet back and come into down dog. Very bent knees again. So down dog. We're thinking of the front body being long. We're thinking about the head just softening. We're thinking of pushing away through the palms of the hands. And then the knees are bent and the heels are probably off the floor. So just roll through the feet again, one at a time, walking the dog. Oh, I can feel I was at the gym yesterday. So how does this feel? Does it feel tight? Does it feel easeful? Try and find a part of you that's feeling good in this. Or maybe it just feels good to be here. Maybe you can just find that contentment in just rolling through the feet and that gentle movement. Nothing much is happening. You're not having to think too much. Maybe then you find it difficult to stay. Try and look for the easeful points. And then walk the feet forward again, come back into forward fold. We're going to take 3 more forward fold half folds. So when you're ready, inhale into half fold, reaching out, taking the shoulders down away from the ears, lifting up through the back of the body, rolling down on the exhale into forward fold. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, roll down. Maybe the legs are feeling a little bit better now, a little bit more easeful in the back of the body. It's stretching out easier. Take your hands to the floor. Step back now with your right foot and come into your version this morning of low lunge. So either knee right back or knee under hip, whichever you feel is right for you now. And then we're just going to gently push into the front foot and lift our front body. We can take our arms with us, hands parallel to each other. We're raising them up above our shoulders, but we're not doing the back bend. We're just going straight upwards here. So draw the tummy back so that the bottom tucks under a little bit. Push into the back foot if there's any sensation through the knee. Lift off that knee. And then focus on your middle fingers and just lift them 1 millimeter or a centimeter up a little bit higher. Feel that really nice light lifting feeling, that easeful movement through the side bodies opening. Hold and breathe. And then lower the hands, take them back down to the floor. Step back with the left foot now, take it back so that you're on your knees, and then sit your hips back and into child's pose. Keep your arms extended and then let the elbows lower to the floor. Take the head to the floor if you can. If that's uncomfortable and you've got your brick handy, pop it under your head. Otherwise, fold your forearms under your head and place your head on your hands. And then just find the back of your body and breathe. Let your belly soften onto your thighs and breathe. Where is still shouting at you? Maybe part of you feels a little bit tight still. But look at the parts of you that aren't complaining. The parts of you that are very silent. The parts of your body that aren't asking for attention. That are contented. If you want to use that word, that are at ease. So we're going to come up now and take the right leg forward. So come up, rock back, and bring your right leg forward into low lunge. Again, choose your knee position at the back. Might not want to go for the big hip flexor opening. Push into the front foot. On an inhale, lift up. Take the hands parallel in front of you. Don't look up, look forward. I think that was a film last week I watched. Inhale and lift up through the middle fingers. Have a little wiggle, hold here, and breathe. Have a little wiggle at your front toes. See if they're able to lift off the floor. Feel the ease of them, how happy they are to be able to move. Find the fingers, have a little wiggle through your fingers. And then find that middle finger again. See if you can just notch a little bit more space between your ribs and your pelvis. Draw the tummy in. Press into the front foot, press into the back foot, lift. And then roll forward till the hands come back down to the floor. Take the foot back now, the right foot back, come back into child's pose. We're going to move from side to side here, so the head doesn't need to go right down. But think about extending the bottom backwards and extending the fingers forwards. So nice long extension through the arms and the armpits. And then walk your hands over towards your left, one at a time. Just the way it's comfortable, don't push it. And find that lovely stretch through the right side body. Find your breath in the right side body. Use it to softly ease out any tension there. See how good that feels. See how it quietens other parts of your body when you feel good. And then walk the hands back to the center, one at a time. Walk over to your left hand side. Maybe not quite ready for it, so you maybe have to ease it in using the breath again. Finding that length in the left hand side now. Using your exhale. Inhale expands, exhale softens. Feel that lovely feeling as it moves towards freedom in the side of your body. And then walk back to center. So we're going to come up now into our down dog situation in a second. So be aware that you can go into all fours and do all of it. So to do that, we're going to come up now. We're going to tuck our toes. We're going to take our sit bones upwards towards the back corner. And then we're going to either walk our feet forward or jump, bunny hop forward to come into forward fold. So it's a challenge, it's a goal, but you don't have, all your happiness doesn't depend on it. So decide how you want to go. So I'm going to hop and bring my feet forward like that. Otherwise you walk them forward. And we end up in forward fold. And then we're going to gently press through the feet, sweep the arms up, take your time, lift your hands up above your head in the inhale, really reaching through the side body, should feel quite easeful now, drawing the hands down on the exhale through heart center and back to Tadasana. Okay, so we'll move into a little flow now. As I say, the first part I would take down dog. When I then come to the second round, I'll explain when to go into tabletop if you want to. So front of the mat, everybody. Inhale, take the arms above the head. Exhale, we're going to swan dive, roll through the knees, soften them, come down into forward fold to wherever's right for your legs this morning. And then inhale into half fold, so reach out through crown and sit bones. Exhale, back down into forward fold, hands to the floor, step back with your right foot, come down into low lunge. When you find your next inhale, breathe in, take in all that energy as you lift up. Think of expanding upwards now rather than taking a back bend. Exhale there, take one breath here, inhale, lengthen, using the feet to rebound, exhale, soften. Inhale, lengthen one more time, then we're coming back down, hands to the floor on the exhale. We're going to step back and we're going to come into down dog now. So tuck the back toes and then step the front foot back and come into down dog. So again, still knees bent here, heels off the floor. Have a little walk the dog again here, rolling through the bottom of the feet. And then we're going to lift that right leg up. And we're going to bring it forward into low lunge on the other side, drop the back knee, find your breath again on the next inhale, take the arms in front of you, parallel hands, reaching up, not taking the shoulders towards the ears though, expanding through the side bodies, lift up through the middle finger, hold and breathe a couple of times here, don't forget to breathe. On your next exhale, soften, fold forward, bring the hands to the floor. We're going to step back now into, step forward now into forward fold, and we're just going to sweep up on your next inhale, find the breath again, inhale up. Exhale, hands down through heart center, back to Tadasana. Take that again on the other side now. So inhale, arms up above the head, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half fold. Exhale, forward fold. Hands to the floor, step back with the left foot this time, come down to the floor in low lunge, your position. Might be going a bit wider, find the breath again. Inhale, hands parallel, reach up, not a back bend, an expansion, an extension. Hold and breathe. Inhale, lift a little bit higher, pressing into the feet. Exhale, soften down a little bit through the hip flexor. Take one more breath in, bring your hands back down to the floor. We're stepping back into down dog. We're going to walk the dog, but we're going to put a little bit of a twist into it now, but then our hips coming into the walk. So let your hips twist from side to side as you walk the dog. And then come to a standstill. Lift the left leg. We're going to bring it forward and bring it in between our hands into low lunge on the other side. Drop the back knee. Find your breath again. Inhale, bring the arms up. Extend, expand, lift. Hold there and breathe. As you soften, see if you can just sink the bottom and the weight through that back hip flexor just a little bit more. And then inhaling, pressing through the feet, lift out a bit. Feels good, doesn't it? And then inhale up, exhale, fold forward, hands come to the floor, step forward into forward fold again. When you're ready, inhale, sweep the hands up and out and round, big angel's wings, up to the top, really extend, and then exhale the hands back down through heart center. Take the hands out into Tadasana, take a breath or two. Okay, so in the next one, We're not going to do the low lunge, but we're going to stay in down dog. So we'll do forward fold, half fold, and then we'll move into down dog from the next forward fold after the half fold. Does that make sense? Forward fold, half fold, forward fold, down dog. We're going to stay there and we're going to do several movements in that position. If you find it too strong, as I say, they can all be done in all fours. The difference is when we do the dips in down dog, you'll be lifting your knees just off the floor. So any other, in the twisted movement, you'll be taking your leg out and rotating. It's the same movement as we do in down dog. So decide now which one you want to go for. Remember, the goal is not what it depends on, it's how you feel at the end of the practice that matters. And it's not about self-criticism here. So, front of the mat. Inhale, arms above the head. Exhale, soften, swan dive into your forward fold. Maybe your knees are quite a little bit less bent now. Half fold on your next inhale. Exhale, back into forward fold. Hands to the floor. Step back into down dog now, 1 foot at a time, obviously, unless you can fly, or into tabletop. So your heels might be coming down a little bit more to the floor, but it's not about the heels in down dog, it's about the hips. So what we're thinking about in down dog here is moving the hips up towards that top corner. It's as if you were doing cow almost. So you want to roll the hips up a little bit. It's about taking the hips up rather than expanding the back of the legs. And keeping that long front body. Okay, we've been here a little bit longer than I meant to be. So we're going to now dip from this position or lift if you're in tabletop. So when you're ready, lower the knees. Just the knees. Push and roll through the feet again, back up to the top. Take 2 more, rolling the knees down. Pushing and lifting the hips back up towards the top corner. Should have a feeling of expansion between the hips as you do that. Rolling down 1 more time. Really good upper body strength like this at the same time, up to the top and hold. So then we're going to bend the right knee and we're going to take it up so that we've got the foot parallel to the ceiling and the thigh parallel to the floor. Same thing in tabletop. And when you're ready, we're just going to take 3 leg lifts. So pulse 3 times, stop. Pulse, take the foot upwards 3 times, stop. Pulse, you've got to squeeze your right glute, stop. And then lower that foot to the floor. Take the left leg up, same thing. Pulse 3 times. Doesn't matter if you can't quite get the leg right up to the position I've said. Try and flex the foot though. Squeeze that glute, bring the foot back to the floor. Walk or bunny hop forward into forward fold. And then when you're ready, sweep the arms up in an inhale, come back up to the top, hands above the head. Take it slowly when you come back up because you have been down in an inversion. It can make you a little bit dizzy. Remember to attach your eyes as you move. Take a couple of breaths there. We're going to go in and do another couple of movements now. So we're going to add extra to that. So we're doing the dips again, we're doing the lifts again, and then we'll do twisted split this time and lizard. If you want to take tabletop now, then please decide that now. Inhale, hands up above the head. Exhale, swan dive into forward fold. Oh, a little bit more expanded this time. Forward fold into half fold. And then down into forward fold. Step back into tabletop or down dog. We're taking our 3 knee dips or lifts when you're ready. So inhale and then exhale, take the knees down or up. In fact, just move with your own breath here because it might be that you find it, if you're lifting, we're doing it in a different way. So work out which breath works with which movement. Try to keep that long front body, try to keep that connection of hands to the floor and pushing through them. After your 3rd dip, you might have done 1 too many. Going to lift the left leg this time. Find that thigh foot connection to floor and ceiling, and take 3 lifts, 3 little pauses, 3 little pulses. And then lower that leg, bring the right leg up then. Let the head hang. Remember, if your neck's getting a little bit heavy, move into your chin. Bring the foot down. In tabletop, we're going to do dog lifts. So you're taking your leg out to the side. Same thing here. So we're moving the weight into the right foot and down dog. We're bending the front of the left leg and we're opening up that inner thigh by lifting it up. And if you can go a little bit further, push into your left hand and open up into a twist. Might be a bit far, so if you can just take your leg up and hold, then that's fine. And breathe. And then lower the leg. Bring the foot back to the floor, moving into the other side now. So bend the leg, open out that inner thigh, hold there if that's enough for you. If you can push into the right hand and open into a twist, then please do so. Hold and breathe. And then retreat back to the front and lower that leg. Bring your knees, everyone, to the floor now. Sit back into child's pose. Bring the elbows to the floor. Release the head to the floor. You might want to take the hands back behind you and take them down by the side of your feet and let your shoulders roll out and find some space and ease in the back of the body. Find your breath. If you need to use a cushion or a brick under your head, please do. Try not to have your hips sticking up in there. So if you have to lift your head to let your hips go down, then that's fine. So lift your head with something to support it. And just let everything relax downwards now towards the floor. Let the shoulders roll and open at the back of the body. Find that ha movement. That, oh, that's nice. There's what contentment feels like. Obviously, we're human beings, so we can't be perfectly contented all the time because it's not in human nature. Ideals are great, but we can't all live that way. But it's just to try and look at finding the positives, the happiness, as much as we can in life, rather than always fighting ourselves and other people and never being happy because things don't go the way we think they should. Our alternative lessons last week were good for reminding us of that. Okay, so we're going to come back up now when you're ready. Roll back up, bring your hands beside your head and lift it. Take your time. Bring hands forward now. I'm going to rock back and we're going to bring our front foot forward. Now, it can either come into low lunge again if you're more comfortable with it, or you can bring your right hand to the middle where your foot would land normally, and you can bring your right foot outside of your right hand into lizard. So rock back and choose whether low lunge or lizard is your position this morning. So lizard is the same as low lunge, but you've got your foot outside of your hand rather than inside. So you've still got 3 limbs at the front. And the back leg again can be a little bit less stretched out if it suits you. But look down and make sure that back leg is coming back out from your hips. So we're going to look down now and relax into this. We're going to tuck our chin, tuck our tummy, lift our heart a little bit higher, and then roll down forwards. Maybe you can soften your elbows slightly into this. So you can do this still in low lunge. It's a little bit less available because your tummy is on top of your thigh potentially, but lift the tummy off the thigh and see if you can find that cat back. And soften the upper half of your body now downwards. And maybe if you're in lizard, you can roll onto the outside edge of that foot. If it's not available yet for you this morning, then please don't try it. It's quite a strong hip opener. That's a word I'm going to stop using. I watched a discussion on it yesterday. Tell you that another day. Okay, so now we're going to roll back onto the foot. If you've got your foot rolled out in lizard, everybody step back, come back into tabletop, sit back, rock back, bring yourself into low lunge or lizard on the other side. So bring your left foot forward. Same thing. So maybe first of all, lengthen through the front body, really reach out through the crown to the back knee. And then tuck the tummy up, roll up through the heart as if you're going into cat back. Tuck your chin and let your head roll forward. Maybe let your elbows then soften a little bit and draw your front body downwards. Particularly as in lizard, it won't really work quite so much in low lunge. Remember, you can roll onto the outside edge in lizard if you want a little bit more through your hip. And then we're going to push gently back up through. Take that front knee back. And then, what am I doing now? Oh, then we're going to take our big toes together and open the knees to the width, or wider anyway, and come back into wide-legged Balasana, child pose. So again, you can use a brick or something under your head if you want to, or your hands under your head, which is quite nice to do that, to put your hands under your head. Let your shoulders open, your elbows go further out and your shoulders open. And your heart then can soften down towards the mat, maybe a little bit more. And let your front body roll forward, as if you were going into puppy pose. It's that sort of feeling. Find a space in the back of your body and breathe. If this affects anybody's lower back, do switch on your tummy muscles. Keep them engaged about 30% or so, just to support your lower back. Find that breath, find that space, find that ease, find that sense of peace and contentment in this pose. Notice what feels good. And then we're going to walk our hands back in and we're going to come down onto our backs now. Have a brick handy beside you. And then carefully bring yourself down onto your backs. Stretch your legs away one at a time. Maybe take your hands above your head and have a full body stretch out. And then release and soften back to center. Bring your feet in. We're going to go up to supported bridge now. So bring your feet in, hit heels as close as you can to your bottoms. Knees over your ankles as much as you can. And then find that little pelvic tilt. So draw your pubic bone, pelvic bones up towards your tummy button. And then roll that back down. So that's what we want to do as we lift. Have your brick handy here. We're going to inhale and press into the feet. Find that pelvic tilt as you do that. Lift up, roll up through. Hold where you are and then bring your brick in, and either on the very low setting or on the second setting, bring it underneath the wide part of your pelvis, below your waist, that solid part of your pelvis that you can support yourself on the brick, and lower gently onto the brick. Once you've done that, tuck your shoulders slightly under and open up your palms upwards. Go back to a quick body scan here. See how it feels. Where is at ease? Where is peaceful? Where feels happy in your body? Maybe you can wiggle your toes a little bit now. The weight's not quite so much on them because it's moved to your pelvis. Maybe you can wiggle your toes. Maybe some of you want to stretch out a little bit further by taking one leg at a time away from you. There's a big extension then through your hip flexors. It can be quite powerful, this, so if you don't like it, with the first leg will tell you, and it might be quite pressured into your pelvis and lower back. So there should be no feeling of discomfort or pain in this. This is us going into a restorative version. So try and feel supported and at ease. We're not overly stretching and moving into things that we can really feel the sensation in. But if it feels good, then do it. So feel the nice expanse along your quads, whichever way you're doing this pose. Feel that nice openness through your collarbone. And hopefully feel that space in your head. Yoga is like an island or an oasis. Amanda's going to a lovely retreat that we're all jealous of in Madeira next week. But we are here on our own island, in effect, doing yoga. And this is where we can find that inner peace and contentment. And when you find it here, that's what you need to find elsewhere in your life. That's what we're all aiming towards, to be happy with what we've got and what we're doing and where we are. Santosha is the word to use as you go forward this week. I have enough. I am content. So if you've got your legs stretched out, bring them in one at a time and feet to the floor. Everybody push gently into the feet, roll up enough to just move that brick, and then take your spine down one vertebra at a time, really slowly back down to the floor, stretching out between the vertebrae, if you can imagine it, as you lay your back down onto the floor. And then bring your knee in one at a time and come into Apanasana, our counter pose, just to finish here. Hands can either go to shins or pop them behind your knees and let your hands just be clasped behind your knees so that your shoulders can then relax back down onto the floor. And feel that nice spreading sensation through the back of your lower back. Draw your knees a little bit closer, your thighs a little bit closer to you. And then release them a little bit. Just do 2 or 3 of those nice squeezing and opening movements. Maybe your shoulders are starting to go with it as you go into a slightly bigger move. And then take 1 foot at a time down to the floor. Take your hands out to the side. Feet either hip width apart, or more easeful is mat width apart, and just take some windscreen wipers. So maybe try one then the other, just to experience the difference. Maybe you like one rather than the other. Pick the one that you like most in these windscreen wipers. Feet either hip width or width of the mat. Just let your hips roll from side to side. Again, a bit of an sensation here. It's a nice massage through the back of the body. Come back to center and stabilize. Take your right leg away from you, left leg away from you. Have a stretch again through the full body, arms above the head. And release back to center. Again, that arm moment as you exhale and let everything soften back to center. And then we're coming back up to finish class. So move slowly, bend knees, roll over onto your side, take your time, open your eyes, take a moment to reattach your vision, and then gently push up and come back up to sitting. So we come back to where we started. Often that's what happens in life. You come back to where you started. Hands together, heart center. So let's remember that we've got that inner peace in us. That happiness is always in us and available somewhere. We just have to realize it's inside of us. It's not dependent on what's happening outside. Thank you everybody for your practice, and namaste.